You love it, you hate it, you avoid it, you need it. It's core work. That's going to be the theme of our practice here today. Welcome to Sasaphras Yoga Studios right here in my house in the Adirondack Mountains. Um, this is the very first time I filmed a full-length class and shared it online with all of you, so I definitely appreciate some feedback. We're going to be very present with all of the imperfections today, so bear with me. So just a few quick words before we get started. So focusing on the core today and a lot of core strengthening, but also core stretching, right? Because there are actually four main parts here to the core that we want to be engaging and being having keeping in mind as we move throughout the practice. So obviously we know about the abdominals, right? Where we're coming rounding into the body, engaging into the belly muscles, but we really also want to make sure that the other elements of the core are supporting those muscles and that we're not just collapsing inward the whole time. So yeah, it's really great to engage those abdominals, but we want to make sure that the side bodies stay engaged as well, and the back muscles, right? Because they're the antagonist to the abdominals here. And then we have the obliques, which crisscross the body, right? It helps us to kind of twist and do these sort of twisting, crunching movements. And then, and this is almost like the most important, in my opinion, we are thinking about the transverse abdominis, which I refer to as this corset muscle, which wraps around the entire core and helps you to find lift and axial extension through the spine. So it's sort of just like a like a nice little lift here. And that's what really helps us to keep this length and safe alignment from the tailbone all the way up through the crown of the head while we're still trying to strengthen and stretch out these muscles groups here. So just to keep that in the back of your head as we move through, I'll try to keep bringing that up throughout the practice. And if you're interested, our essential oils today for a nice invigorating blend, we have sweet orange, we have black pepper, nice and spicy, frankincense, and lime. So it's just a very nice blend, energizing and grounding all at once. I also invite you to have a block or two for the practice today. Just in case we need it, we're going to be doing a little bit with one block, but it's just going to be some stuff, some lifting. So we're not going to be putting as much weight on it. So if you wanted to use something like a large textbook, if you didn't have a block available, or something with just a little bit of girth, a little bit of weight to it. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, we're going to be starting on our backs today in a reclined supine position or shavasana. So you can go ahead, lay back flat on your mat and get comfortable. I will join you down there in a few moments. I always start my classes with a few minutes of engagement with our breath and a little bit of meditation just to kind of bring us into the present moment and calm the body and allow the oxygen to enter so that we may be energized throughout the practice today. So go ahead, lay back. It's morning here, so this might be the first time that you've laid back since getting out of bed today. So I invite you to allow yourself a few minutes to get comfortable. Maybe that's shifting the weight around through the spine, tucking the shoulder blades underneath. And then as you take a few natural breaths here, really allowing the spine to soften in toward the floor, weight to release from the neck and the shoulders. Allow the limbs to be heavy. And if you haven't already, the eyes can begin to soften or close. So finding yourself in this space, allowing yourself to scan a few times, drawing awareness up and down the body. So we're not trying to focus for too long on any one area, but just checking in with everything, seeing how you feel today, how the feet are feeling, the legs, whether or not you feel any tightness or tension in the hips, allowing the belly to soften as you draw the awareness up through the ribs into the chest, noticing sensation through the arms and shoulders, up through the neck and into the head. And then send all that awareness and energy back down, checking back in, maybe some spots you may have missed on the way up. And then I'd like you to take a long, large inhale through the nose and expand into the belly. We're going to let it out with a sigh through the mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times. Expanding into the belly. Once more. Feel all of the weight just slide right through and off. And then we're going to keep on building the breath here. So continuing to feel this expansion through the belly, feeling the belly rise, drawing the air up through the chest and the lungs. And then nice and slow, we're going to start releasing on the exhale. So using some control here to let it all out slowly. We're building on the breath gradually here. Eventually, we might get to an inhale to a count of 5 or 6. Exhale to the same. And once you've established a nice pattern with this deep breath here, I invite you to stay with it for 5 more rounds, and we'll breathe through this together before we come back to our natural rhythm of breath. Slowly, gently, and gradually, you can start finding that natural rhythm again. And take a moment or two to sit with this natural breath. Notice any differences that you may feel now compared to the natural breath when we first came to lie down on the mat. Maybe you don't feel any difference at all, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more fullness, a little bit more success with each breath, and hopefully a little more peace and calm. We're going to start incorporate some slow movements, and simply by pointing and flexing the feet. So still lying back flat on the mat, and just slowly moving the feet out, maybe rolling the ankles around, and starting to roll the wrists around as well. We're just starting to wake up into each of the limbs. So feeling the energy travel up the arms and the legs and start to connect with the spine. I'm going to join you flat on the mat. On your next inhale, reach and extend the arms up overhead. Point the toes toward the bottom of the mat. Everything is long, and exhale, just soften. Arms are still reaching up, but we're allowing the spine and belly to relax. Your next inhale, extending, reaching. Squeeze slightly into the bum as you bring the knees into the chest. On the exhale, arms wrapping around the legs. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. Allow the hip bones to ground and the shoulders to ground. Feel the entire length of the spine on the mat. And then we're going to slowly start to rock back and forth. So starting to bring that energy and waking up the spine. massaging gently out through the back muscles. And then finding stillness and center, let the arms fall open. Take a breath in here. And as we exhale, we're going to come into a twist with the knees to the right. So slowly releasing. We want to keep both shoulders grounded down. So if your knees do not comfortably reach the floor, I invite you to wedge a block under the knees or between them. That way we can release into the legs. Let the muscles go. Release the tension. And focus on grounding down through the upper body. Maybe our head turns to the left. And just breathing into the spine here. We're going to start engaging our belly a little bit. So tighten it up and use that strength to inhale your knees through center. And that exhale nice and slow over to the left side. Shoulders ground down. We can move the block if we need it. Relax into the legs. If it feels okay, you might be able to look out toward that right hand. Return to that steady, deep breath. Feeling the engagement come back into the belly. Inhale, knees coming back into center. Go ahead, squeeze, hug the legs into the chest. We're going to start to add in a little bit of core strengthening. So keeping the knees tucked in. On an inhale, we're going to reach and extend the arms up overhead. So we're going to be coming to some little half crunch positions here, and we're going to be holding them. Before we come up, go ahead and slightly flex the feet. Take an inhale, arms extending up. On the exhale, we're going to lift the upper body and bring both arms to the outer left leg. As we lift here, left knee stays tucked in, and we'll extend through that right foot, hovering it over the mat if that's okay. So I'm in this half twisted crunch position. And with my arms extending forward, we have a tendency to take the shoulders out of support here. So making sure we're not reaching the shoulder blades forward, but they're still plugged into the back. That way we stay nice and broad through the collarbone. Chin is lifted from the chest. We want to make room for the breath here. You're going to feel the belly start talking to you because in this position with the knee tucked in, we're going to feel that low back flat to the floor. If we want to challenge ourselves a little bit here, tuck the knee in a little closer to the chest and start to dip that right foot closer to the mat. Breathing this whole time. Core work is so easy to begin holding your breath. One more breath in. Slowly exhale, release knees back in, upper body down, arms above the head, soften and breathe. Next inhale, reaching the arms, extending. Exhale, lifting arms to the outer right leg and extending the left forward, hovering it over the mat. Shoulders plugged in, chin lifted. Find your breath here. Extra challenge, right knee tucks in, left leg dips down. One more breath in. Exhale, release it back down, soften. Take 2 breaths here. We're going to do one more time to each side. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, lift, arms to the outer left leg, right leg extends. Little challenge. 2 more breaths. Inhale and release. Soften. Last round. Inhale, extending. Exhale, lift. Find your position. Find the breath. Challenge if you'd like it. Breathe in and release. Go ahead and ground your feet. Keep the knees bent. Let softness come into the belly. Let the low back relax against the floor. So we did some compression into the abdominals. Now we're going to allow them to lengthen out, and we're going to set up for a bridge. So making sure the feet are hip distance. If you were to naturally reach your fingers down, they should just barely be touching the back of your heels. Allow the shoulder blades to walk down a step or two so the back of the neck is long. Exhale, flatten your low back to the floor. Palms on either side, face down. Inhale, press into the feet to lift the hips toward the ceiling. Bringing the stretch and extension into the upper body through the chest. You might be able to scoot the back of the head up toward the top of the mat just a little bit to create some space between the chin and the chest. Keep your gaze straight to the ceiling. Coming back to the breath. We want the tailbone long toward the heels, so the bum is slightly engaged, not clenching. And then just check in with the legs here. We want to avoid the knees buckling out to the side, so just slightly squeezing them into the center. And when you engage slightly into the bum, that automatically kind of brings the legs into position. But just making sure you're aware of where you're grounding down evenly through the feet. Belly is stretching out, lengthening. Starting to feel some heat building in the legs, breathing through it. One more breath in. And exhale, gently release the spine back down. I like to go vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to reset the spine as I go. And once the tailbone's down, soften everything. Take a breath. Tucking the knees back into the chest. I'm going to take my hands between the calves and the thighs. We're going to start to rock and roll up the spine a little bit here. And if this movement does not serve you, I invite you to roll to one side and press yourself up to a seated position. But for those of you that want to continue, we're just going to swing the feet up and forward, bringing some movement into the whole body and rocking back and forth. Just a fun little motion, bringing some more energy, and then eventually coming right up to sit. So you can bring yourself into the center of the mat. We're just going to roll the shoulders out a few times. So inhale, drawing them up to the ears. Exhale, slide them down the back. 3 more times. Once more. At the bottom of the exhale, reverse the direction. Bottom of this exhale, we'll begin to alternate each shoulder. So one comes up, then the other, and just still breathing nice and slow. Always starting to feel a little bit of stretch come into the side body and up through the ribs here. And reverse the direction. And slowly coming to center, finding stillness. We're going to take the right hand to the mat beside us. And I'm going to mirror you. So I'm going to put my left hand down. On an inhale, left hand reaches out to the side, up overhead. Exhale, bend into that right elbow and actively reach with that left hand to the side of the room. Don't sink into the shoulder here, but stay lifted. We want this extension coming all the way up this side body, expanding through the ribs. If it feels okay with the neck, go ahead, turn to look up at that left elbow. Breathe. Feel the length coming up through the side. Engaging those abdominals a little bit here as we inhale, reaching both hands up overhead. Look up to the hands. Exhale, hands coming into the heart. And we'll reverse the cross of the legs if that feels okay for you. Left hand to the mat. Inhale, right to the side, up overhead. Exhale, bend into the left elbow, extending, active through the hand and fingers to the side of the room. Big lift and extension here through that side body. Maybe we look up to the elbow. Breathe. Feel those abdominals turn on. Inhale, lifting up with both hands. Look up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And we're going to extend the legs out in front. So I'm going to turn to the side here so you can still see me. We're not spending too much time into the legs and hamstrings today, but we do want to make sure they get a bit of a stretch for when we start to move. So legs extended. I like to move any flesh up the bottom out of the way so you feel both those sit bones grounding down, pelvis slightly turned forward. Go ahead, shake the legs out a little bit here. We haven't brought much movement to them. Bounce the knees a couple of times. And then find stillness. We're going to take a soft bend to the knees, but the feet are going to be flexed for our first fold here. Arms released to the side. Inhale, reach them forward and up to frame the ears. Feel the spine extending. Exhale, reaching forward. Think nose to toes. And softly allow yourself to fold over those bent knees. Shoulders rounding forward. Hang the head down. And before we begin to play around with straightening the legs, go ahead and start to deepen the flex into the feet a little bit here. So we start to feel the stretch come in through the calves, through the ankles. And then as we start to move through the feet and create space through the back of the lower leg, you might be able to start pedaling the backs of the knees up and down on the mat. Upper body still hanging down. We're just bringing some space and gentle movement into the backs of the legs. Hands can be resting on the floor. If it's in your practice, maybe reaching for the ankles or the feet. And then we're going to come to stillness. Maybe we keep a soft bend to the knees. Maybe they start relaxing toward the mat. On your next inhale, we're going to lift slightly off of the thighs. Again, think nose to toes, extension forward through the spine. Exhale, soften down. Breathing. Inhale, slight lift, extending. And exhale, soften. Breathe here. We're going to do that one more time. Slight lift on the inhale. Extend yourself toward the toes. And exhale, softening down. Hey, taking the hands to the mat on either side of the legs. Upper body is going to stay hanging. On the inhale, we're going to drag the hands back toward the hips, allowing the spine to round up. Shoulders will come to the ears. Right into staff pose. Exhale, shoulders slide down the back. Feet are flexed, spine is long, whole core is engaged here. So not just tucking in the belly, but making sure we have those supporting back muscles, side body, nice and tall. Thinking about that corset muscle, that little lift, the extension through the spine. Hands, fingertips to the mat, maybe hovering the hands here. You're going to see me start shaking. I probably already am because I'm really engaging on rooting down through my low body while maintaining this big extension and support through the upper body. Shoulders relaxed, chin lifted from the chest, breathing. If it feels okay, maybe squeezing the elbows slightly without puffing the chest forward. Just squeezing them slightly together, feeling the arms come in. Root down through the legs, breathing in. Exhale, soften. Beautiful. One more fold here. Knees slightly bent, legs straight, your choice. Inhale, arms reach up, look up to the hands. Exhale, extend, soften down. Big breaths here. Hands framing the legs, fingertips to the mat this time. Inch those hands forward. Look to the toes. Strong belly as we inhale, lifting up. Exhale, hands coming into the heart. Before we move on, we're going to take one little twist here. Keeping that left leg extended, we'll draw the right foot in. It can stay to the inside, or you can bring it to the outside of the mat if that's within your practice. Nice tall spine here, so bringing your chest closer to that right knee. On an inhale, nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, hugging the knee into the chest as we twist to the right. Twists beginning at the waist. And as we breathe here, we can always work our way up the spine. Head and neck turning last. So every inhale growing tall, exhale twisting, deepening. One more inhale. Slowly exhale, come back through center. Stretch out that right leg. And we'll draw the left foot in, inside or outside of the knee. Tall spine, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, knee hugs in, twisting to the left this time, working our way up the spine with each consecutive breath. One more inhale. Exhale, untwist back through center. Stretch out that left leg. And we're going to be making our way into a tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees, I like to just make sure at this moment that I have my block or blocks available to me at the top of the mat in case we need them as we start to move through the practice. So hands and knees, take a moment, make sure those hips are over the knees. Shoulders come down over the wrists, spread wide through the fingertips. This is a little something I do every day. We're going to circle up and around the hands. So we're not pressing the hands into the mat too hard here. We're just allowing a bit of a stretch to come up through the wrists and the forearms. I do this every single day because I don't have the strongest wrists, and this really, really helps with a lot of day-to-day activities that we wouldn't necessarily think about. So going around a few times in both directions. And again, not pressing down too hard, just gently stretching out. And as we come back through center, we're going to come to the top of the left hand and gently reverse all that stretching. Again, softly moving around. And we'll shake out that left hand before we move to the top of the right. Same thing on this side. Gentle movements. And the right hand shakes out. Back in table here, we're going to extend through the spine a few times with some cat-cows. On an inhale, feel the belly drop, the belly extend, the heart pull through the arms as we look up. Exhale, navel pulls up and in, rounding the shoulder blades to the ceiling, head dips down. 4 more times. Inhale for the extension. Exhale, rounding, pressing up through the spine. One more time. And exhale. And inhale, coming back into table. Your next breath in, we're going to reach those left toes behind us on the mat, keeping them grounded down for a moment. Tuck the low belly in and feel the tailbone lengthen down toward that back heel. Slowly lift the right hand toward the top of the mat. Find some point to gaze at to help with your balance as we lift through that left foot. So balancing table, that low belly is still pulling up and in. Glute is slightly engaged. Pressing away from the left shoulder, not sinking down. Breathe in here. Find some extension through the left foot, the right hand. Exhale, slowly bring elbow and knee to center and round the spine up, just like we did for cat. Point the toes. Inhale, reach and extend nice and slow. Exhale to center. Inhale, reaching into center. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale to center. This time holding here. Trying to tuck that left knee as close as we can up into the chest. And breathing in, extend last time. And exhale to table. Shake out that left hand. Inhale, right toes reach behind. Belly tucking up. Left hand forward. Find your balance. Slowly lift those right toes. Breathe here. Inhale, find that extension. Exhale, slowly come to center, elbow to knee. One more. Exhale into center, holding here, breathing. Try to tuck that right knee up into the chest. Press the mat away with that right hand. Inhale, reach. Exhale to table. Shake out that right hand. Now the next little exercise is going to be targeting our obliques. It's also a really good stretch for the hips, so we're going to bring a little bit of movement into the hips. There's a couple of modifications here if this looks a little intense for you. We're going to start by shifting our weight into the right knee, and we're just going to start by circling the left knee around a few times. So lifting the left knee up to the side, keeping the knee bent as we gently circle around. Not going too fast, just lubricating the hip joint. And reverse the direction. And then come back to table. Shift your weight to that left knee, and we'll move into the right side. Lifting up and circling around. And reverse. And finding table. Inhale through cow. Exhale, round to cat. Shake out both hands if that feels all right. Coming back through table, we're going to start to build on that a little bit. So what we're going to be doing here is inhale, left toe step back once again. Find your balance. Right hand forward, left toes lift. Breathing. Take that extension through the inhale. This time as we exhale, we're going to bend elbow and knee and then slowly open out to the side. We can do this just through the leg, bringing the right hand down. Holding here. Feeling those obliques crossing the abdominals start to talk to you. Engage slightly into the glutes, not clenching, just for support, and breathe. Next, inhale, extending. And exhale to table. Shake out that left hand. Inhale through cow. Exhale to cat. Coming back through table, inhale, right toes behind. Left hand forward, find your balance, and slowly lift into that right leg, sorry. Breathing in, extend, exhale, elbow and knee bend, and we'll open to the side. We can always bring that left hand down. Breathing. Don't sink into the right shoulder. Glutes supporting, both legs strong. Inhale, extending. Exhale to table. Right hand shakes out. Inhale through cow. Exhale to cat. One more time. In round. Coming back through table, walk the hands a step or two in front. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift those hips up and back. Knees bent, heels lifted to start. Feel the belly press toward the tops of the thighs. Pressing the mat away through the base of the pointer finger, base of the thumb. And then allow the feet to pedal out. Head is releasing between the arms. So lifting and lowering the heels. Maybe shaking out the head, yes or no, releasing through the neck. And then finding stillness here. Look back at the feet. On an inhale, we're going to lift that right leg. It doesn't have to come up too high. Exhale, bend that right knee and start to shift your weight forward, bringing the knee in toward the nose. Shoulders are over the wrists. Tuck the knee up into the chest. Look forward. Lift the chin from the chest. Press back through that left heel. Breathing. Inhale, extend that right leg back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, pressing into the base of the pointer, base of the thumb in this position. That'll help take stress from the wrists. Left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee bends, coming forward, knee toward the nose. Shoulders over the wrists. Now you can grip a little bit into the fingertips to press the mat away. Tuck the knee up into the chest. Look slightly forward. Breathing. Inhale, extend it back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, walk the feet to the top of the mat. We're going to come into a forward fold. Knees are deeply bent, belly resting on the thighs. Release and let go of that upper body, hanging the head. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows. We can sway a little bit from side to side here, gently keeping the neck and head loose. If it feels okay, reverse the grip on the elbows and just notice what sensation that may change through the back. And then finding stillness, release the arms. On an inhale, we'll come to a halfway lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale to fold down, softening. We're going to roll up to stand. Upper body stays loose as we start to straighten the legs. Inhaling the whole way up, beginning to round up through the spine. Arms will come out to the side, reaching up overhead. Look up to the hands. Exhale, hands coming into the heart. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth 3 times. One more. hands released to your side, mountain pose at the top of the mat. Evenly ground through the feet, spine long, pelvis slightly tucked, shoulders down and back, connecting with your breath. Inhale, arms reach forward and up to frame the ears. Exhale, we're going to squat back to chair. Bend into the knees, but shift your weight back into the heels. You can look down for a moment. We want to make sure our knees are not going past the toes. You want to be able to see those toes. Weight is shifting to the back. If arms by the ears are too much, bringing them parallel to the floor can be helpful. We can work on deepening the squat here, but we don't want to be sticking out the bum, so make sure the tailbone is nice and long. Feel that low belly tuck in. And then as long as you've made sure that you can see your toes past the knees, go ahead, turn your gaze neutral. Look forward. Shoulders relaxed, but arms active. Breathing in, hands meet overhead. Exhale, bringing hands into the heart. Couple more breaths here. Maybe we go just a little bit deeper. Feel the low part of the bum turn on to support you. Low belly still tucking in. Inhale, come up to stand, arms reach up. Exhale, fold all the way down, hands at the heart, fold over the feet. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to fold, frame the right foot. Inhale, left foot steps back. We're in a runner's lunge. Look forward. On an exhale, we're going to seal that left foot about parallel to the short side of the mat, setting up for a warrior two. Make sure that right hip is tucking under. We can either swing up from here with strong legs, or bring hands to that right thigh, lifting the torso and opening to the side. If you're like me, I want to create a little more space between my legs. I heel toe the back foot out. We want to make sure that front knee is not going past the ankle and it's tracking out over those center toes. Shoulders relaxed. Press into that back leg. And as we firm ourselves through the low body here, we're going to bring our attention back to the core, thinking about this transverse abdominis corset muscle so that we can create this extension through the spine without jeopardizing the strength and support of the legs. Couple more breaths here. Rooting those feet down, still allowing length to come in through the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Breathe in. Exhale, hands to the hips. We're going to straighten that front leg and heel toe the back foot in just a step or two, setting up for triangle. If you'd like to take a block to the inside of that right ankle, now's a good time. We can either have a soft bend to this front knee, or if the leg is very straight, we want those quads very strong, especially in this back leg. Arms back out to the side. Breathe in, extend forward, left hip coming out. Exhale, coming down at the waist. We can bring that right hand to the block. I'm going to start with my left hand to my hip, maybe reaching to the floor or the shin if that's within your practice. The reason I brought my left hand to the hip is because I want to roll that left shoulder down and back, opening up through the front of the body and stacking my shoulders here. Then I can worry about lifting that hand to the ceiling. Firm up and power those legs, ground into the feet. And then again, we want to create space through the spine. Tuck that low belly in. Feel the tailbone lengthen down toward the heel. Crown of the head reaching forward, looking up if it's okay, or to the side if that feels better. As we get ready to come up, we'll take a soft bend to that right knee. You can look down. Strong into those feet as we inhale, lifting both arms up. Left hand will come down, right hand lifts, reverse triangle, right leg is straight again. So we're bringing this extension all the way up through this right side body, from those toes all the way up to the finger. And you'll notice I'm not really pressing into this back leg because I don't want to compress into my left side body, but I want to stay lifted. Breathing in. Exhale, warrior two. Bend into that front knee. Arms out to the side. Inhale, extending through the spine. Don't compromise the legs. Nice and strong through that low body. Slightly heel toe the back foot in. Slow motion. We're going to windmill those arms forward, turning the left toes forward to frame that right foot. Back to our runner's lunge. Plant the hands. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, walk to the top of the mat, folding down over the feet. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale to fold. Rolling up to stand, upper body loose and hanging, straighten the legs, big inhales, we come up. Arms out to the side and reaching. Look up. Exhale, hands coming into the heart. Before we move to the other side, I'm going to switch positions so I can still see you guys. So coming back to mountain at the top of the mat. Connect with the breath. Inhale, arms reaching forward and up to frame the ears. Exhale, squatting back to chair, weight shifting into the heels. Look down as we come into this position. Make sure you can see those toes. Lengthen that tailbone down by pulling the low belly in and then looking forward. Feel the low part of the bum turn on to support you. We're going to be incorporating a little twist this time. A couple different options here. We can bring hands into the heart. We're going to begin our twist on the right. Take a breath in. If it's within your practice, keep the hands together. Exhale, left elbow to the right knee, squatting a little deeper to stack the hands. This is too much. We can bring left hand to the right knee, right hand to the hip, looking to the side. Belly is still tucking in and strong. Breathe in. Exhale, untwist. Keep the squat, hands to the center. Breathe in here. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow to the left knee, stacking the hands. Or right hand to the knee, left hand to the hip, looking to the side. Trying to keep the weight even between the feet. Belly strong. Breathe in. Exhale, untwist, hands to the heart. Inhale up to stand, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the hands down. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, folding over the feet, bringing the hands into the heart as we come down. And then releasing all the way to the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, folding down. Frame the left foot. Inhale, right foot steps back to that runner's lunge. Look forward on the breath in. Exhale, right foot ceiling about parallel to the short side of the mat. Before we lift here, make sure that left hip is tucking under nice and strong and either swinging up from here or hands to the thigh, lift the torso and opening to the side. Knee is not going past the ankle. I'm going to extend back into my back foot a little bit so I can make some space between my legs here. Root down into those feet. Make sure we're pressing just as much into this right back foot. Shoulders relax. And then bringing our attention back to the core here. Engaging that transverse abdominis corset muscle so that we can find that extension up. Nice, long and strong. Breathe through the heat, building in the legs. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the hips. We're going to straighten the front leg and heel toe the back foot in just a step or two. If you want to have your block available to the inside of the ankle as we set up for triangle. Arms come out to the side. Inhale, reach forward, right hip juts out this time. Exhale, hinging at the waist to find the block. Right hand coming to the hip, remember to start until I can firm up my legs. Then I'll roll that right shoulder down and back, opening up the chest, stacking the shoulders. And then I can worry about lifting that arm. Both of my legs are straight, so my quads are engaged and strong, but you can have a soft bend to that front knee. And as we ground down here, we can bring that awareness back to the core, low belly tucking in, tailbone is long, and feeling the extension through the spine. Looking forward, maybe up to the hand, and breathing. As we get ready to come up, you can look down, take a soft bend to that left knee, strong legs, inhale, lifting the torso, arms up. We'll bring the left hand up, right hand can come back for reverse triangle, left leg is straight again. Not compressing into the back of the body here, but feeling the extension all the way up through this left side, nice and long. Heart lifting toward the ceiling. Legs still strong, tailbone long. Breathing in. Exhale, warrior two. Bend back into the front knee. Don't let it go past the ankle. Once again, bring that axial extension in through the spine. Relax the shoulders. My dogs are barking. If you're wondering what that noise is. From here, we're going to heel toe the back foot in just a step or two. And then slow motion, windmilling those arms forward, turn the right toes forward to find that runner's lunge, framing the left foot. Plant the hands, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Any little movements you might want to make here, feel free to do that as well. Or just breathe. One more breath in. Exhale, go ahead and ground the knees, coming into table. Cross the feet behind you and bring the bum down and the feet forward. I'm going to switch positions here because the sun will be in my eyes. And this is where you would want to, this is where I really wanted everyone to have a block, but it's not completely necessary. We're going to move through a few rounds of boat and some variations using the block here before we wind down. So coming into our half boat position, knees are bent, feet are grounded on the mat. Go ahead and bring the block between the knees. So there's three sizes of the block: short, medium, tall. So we want this narrow side of the block to be between the legs here. If that feels okay for you, you can kind of adjust it or play around if you'd want it a little bit wider. We don't need to have it on the tallest setting, but either that shortest or middle setting, whatever's going to feel good. We don't want the knees buckling too far out to the side. So you're evenly grounded on those sit bones here, nice and tall through the spine. We're going to keep the feet grounded for this first round. Bring the arms out to the side. Broad through the chest, shoulders relaxed. Breathe in. Keeping the low belly tucked in, back strong. We're going to start leaning back. Nice and slow. We don't want to drop or sink into the shoulders or back here, but we want to stay nice and long through the crown of the head. Lift the chin from the chest, right? We want room for the breath. Squeeze the block with the legs. Breathing. For those of you that want an extra challenge, your next inhale, reach the arms up. shaking, embrace it, but breathe through it. Arms can come back to neutral. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round yourself forward over the legs and soften. Let the belly relax. So this time we're going to keep the feet grounded, but we're going to lift the toes. And because I didn't have you guys grab a strap today, we're not going to be coming into some more full variations of boat, because if you don't have a strap available, you might want one. But we're going to have a couple options. If it's within your practice to lift the feet, by all means do so. If you're new to yoga and have never done these before, I invite you to keep the heels grounded. We'll use the strap for another class. Shoulders down and back, heels grounded, block between the knees, arms out to the side, broad through the chest. Breathing in. Exhale, flat back, coming back. Chin lifted from the chest. Squeeze the block with the legs. Some of you may be able to tuck the knees in and start to lift. A little extra challenge, if your legs are lifted, start to bring the belly and thighs a little closer together. If your heels are down, you can do the same just by dragging the heels slightly in. Breathing. A little extra challenge, lift those arms with a breath in. Back to neutral. Feet can come down slowly. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften forward, round and relax. This time we're going to take the block out from the knees, and we're going to be targeting those oblique muscles again. So even though the block is gone, I still want you to keep that action of squeezing the legs into the center. We're going to be using the block in the hands this time. So go ahead and take it in the widest setting between the hands. We're going to be grabbing it. For those of you that want a little extra challenge, we can really engage into the arms here by creating this action as though we're trying to pull the block apart from the center. You don't want to be doing it so much that you're really tensing up into the neck, but just enough so you can feel the outsides of the arms and shoulders start to work with you here. So block is forward, engaging into the arms if we'd like, tall spine. Inhale, reach the block up. Exhale with a flat back, strong belly, leaning back. Breathing in. Exhale, twist to the left, nice and slow. Inhale, reach up, flat back supporting us, remember. Exhale to the right, slowly. Inhale, up. Exhale, left side, chin is lifted from the chest. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in, reach up. Last round, left. Inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. Exhale, block to heart center. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, soften and round forward. You can place the block to the side. Coming into the center of the mat. Once more to this half boat position. This time, we're going to wind all the way down and start relaxing. Nice tall spine. Take a breath in. As we exhale, bring the navel way back. We're going to start collapsing the spine back this time because we're going to start to bring the tailbone down and trying to release each vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. So we're using some control here and we're breathing the whole way. Tricky in the center back. Take your time. Take your time through the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Relax the limbs. A couple of breaths here. Allow the spine to neutralize to the mat. Big breath into the belly. Let it out with a sigh. Knees coming into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. We can come into a happy baby by grabbing the outer edges of the ankles or feet, stacking the ankles over the knees, and then opening the thighs wide around the ribs. Tailbone is still grounded down, and we can rock a little bit from side to side here. Slow and deep through the breath. Finding stillness, bring the soles of the feet together, keep the knees wide, gently lower the legs to the mat. We can either support them in the hands, or maybe rest the hands gently on the inner thighs, relax the shoulders, soften the low back. Inhale, bring the knees together. We're going to scoot our bum to the right just a little bit and extend the left leg. Right foot comes to the top of the left knee, arms out to the side. Breathe in here. Exhale into the twist. Right knee softening over to the left. It does not have to reach the floor because we want this right shoulder to stay grounded. Relax and soften. Release the legs. Let gravity take over. And to keep the shoulder grounded, sometimes it's easiest to look out to that right hand. Release yourself. And breathe. Inhale, back through center. Bum scoots to the left just a little bit. Right leg extends. Left foot to the right knee. Take an inhale. Exhale for the twist. Left shoulder grounded. Maybe we look to the left. But release the legs. Soften the body. Inhale once more through center. Even out the hips. Any little last minute adjustments or stretches that you might need before Shavasana, I invite you to take those now. If you have a blanket nearby that you'd like to cover up with, you may do so. And when we're ready, we're going to come back to recline on the mat, shoulder blades tucking under, spine long, legs and arms relaxed, palms to face the ceiling. That'll keep the shoulders and chest nice and open. Allow the body to settle down into the mat. The eyes can begin to soften or close. Finding your natural rhythm of breath once more. Noticing and observing how it feels, entering and leaving the body. We're going to come back to a few rounds of that controlled breathing we began our class with, just for a few moments before we release everything. So gradually building on that deep breath again. Three more rounds. One more time. And this last long exhale, I invite you to release your control of the breath completely, allowing it to come and go as it pleases. Release control of the body. Allow it to absorb into the floor. Release control of your thoughts, never focusing for too long on one, but passing it on to another. This can often be the most difficult part of the practice, but it is the most important. We can let all of the work we just did settle into the body and then release. So I invite you to lose yourself for the next few moments. Slowly begin to deepen the breath again, inviting awareness back into the body. You can wiggle out the toes and the fingers. Rock the head gently from side to side. Once more on an inhale, reach and extend the arms up overhead. And exhale, just sort of relax. One last time, I invite you to bring the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs, and give yourself a really big hug. Use the next couple moments to find some words of kindness, of gratitude, and acceptance just for yourself. Repeating them a few times in your head and using this as your own personal mantra to take with you throughout the day. Whenever you're ready, rolling to one side, using an inhale, slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position. We'll bring the hands to the heart. And if you care to join me in ending practice with a round of Om, I'll start by taking a deep breath in. Exhale all of the stale air. One more big inhale. I thank you so much for your support and for tuning in with me this morning. I look forward to continuing this journey with you and this new platform. Namaste.